The video you're about to see is honestly something special because it wasn't planned and it just accidentally happened. My good friends and YouTube compadres got together because we're talking about some offline plans. And before you know it, we kind of took care of the business side within 20 minutes and none of us wanted to hang up the call. So you get to see everybody in their natural state. And it's really just a bunch of dudes hanging out, having a good time. And then, of course, what do you do when you get a bunch of movie critics together? We just all start talking movies. And it was Sean's idea at the very end of the call where he says, you got a lot of good material here. And he's like, you know what I do? To cut you off, guys. But again, I got to go.
No problem.
All righty.
Alrighty.
You got some good material that you can use for a podcast or something.
Yes. So I reached out to everybody earlier today and asked them, with your permission, of course, would you be okay if I posted portions of the video to let our fans kind of see us like in our natural states? And everybody agreed. So again, I want to thank Cody, the motherfucking man, Leach, Al, JB, and Sean for joining me. Griffin and Zach, hopefully you guys can make the next meeting so we can all get together and you can be part of the video. But ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Meeting of the Super Friends, Part 1.
Having a bit of an audience, so we'll see what happens.
Very cool.
But anyway, that was a long response to you saying you didn't know I played guitar. Yes, Sean plays guitar.
My son just discovered the guitar he's been playing for a year. He's just, punk. It's all about power chords and Misfits, Remote. So seeing him play and just pick it up like super fast, man, it's so cool. It's so cool. I love it, man. He's teaching me all about like all these bands I've never heard of, like Bad Habit, Black Flag, and Bad Brains. And
you didn't know about those bands?
No, I didn't.
What? Henry Rollins? Like, what am I missing? How did you not know about Black Flag? He's in Bad Boys 2, for crying out loud.
I hate Bad Boys. The movie.
Bad Boys is awful. You're both awful to me.
How dare you? How dare you? I feel the Bad Boys movies should have won the Oscar for best movie of all time.
Mm-hmm.
All three of them, Oscar for one movie. It shouldn't even make sense, much like those movies don't make sense.
Put on the pizzas here, guys. Can somebody get the door?
Hey, get the pizza.
Well, I didn't realize you were bringing pizza to the meeting now. That's exciting. Free food?
Pizza party.
Nice. Oh, man.
Cody, I sent some people to your channel. They were supposed to say they were sent for me, so you might have some new followers. I'm like, you guys, listen, if I send you somewhere, you got to say I sent you. It just helps me out.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Sean's trying to multitask. He's going to watch his show in reverse in his camera while he's talking to us. It's
a good idea. That's clever.
Stay ahead of the curve.
It's an hour-long meeting. Well, let's put something on in the background.
Yeah. And again, like I said, I have respect for everybody's time. I think I said that 3 times already. An hour's enough because I know you probably have to do like 10 videos tonight, Sean, and Cody's got his lives and everybody's. I don't know how y'all do it.
I literally just shot 5 videos in a row, and I need to get 2 of them edited before I go to bed. So that's that's literally why there was something up on the screen. I have a video that I have to get finished editing for a sponsor to get cleared. So, yeah.
Oh, cool.
And all of this because I'm heading out to see Cody next week, so I'm trying to get ahead on all this stuff. And, so.
Oh, that's right. You guys going to do Batman? Is that what it is? Or are you guys just going to hang out?
Uncharted.
No, and I mean,
nice.
So it's actually like I don't want to. I keep talking too much. I did my pre-workout before I started shooting, and I guess it hit me 2 hours later. So now I can't shut up, and I'm like, that's. But so basically, it was the original version was I was going to go out to LA and see how many of my LA friends could meet up together, just to hang out for my 40th birthday, which is actually in November, but I was too busy then. Mm-hmm. And so I had like this big ambitious plan, and I was. Like Cody was going to come out and meet us out in LA. So it was almost kind of what this whole phone call is, but it was kind of a version of that. And then Omicron started hitting. I was like, I'm not going to LA right now. I'm not doing that. But I was supposed to go to see Cody in January, but then I got the Omicron and I was like, I probably shouldn't drive across the country and infect everyone and then Cody's family. That probably would be immoral. So then delayed it a month. So now we're meeting up for Uncharted, but it's just trying to see people for my 40th birthday.
It's going to work out better, though, because the week that we had originally had planned, it was like, all right, well, what movie can we go see? Well, there's this mermaid musical and
I'm
something
sold.
else. Yeah.
So I guess we wrapped everything up in 18 minutes. We didn't need an hour. We can bullshit or just end the call if y'all want, but this is nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I got a question for this is really for Cody because like I always cycle over all my horror people to you because I don't really cover horror. But I gotta understand. No, this is for Rudy too, maybe Sean, maybe everybody. One thing I don't understand about horror movies, I don't know how does the carnage not affect you? Like when you see somebody's throat get cut or it affects me, man. I don't know how it doesn't affect you.
You want to go first, Cody?
I'll say that the strangest part about that is in real life, I'm extremely squeamish about blood. I've passed out because someone around me got a nosebleed. One time I heard a pastor was telling a sermon once, and he was talking about getting in a motorcycle accident, telling a story, and he was talking about like blood pulsing out of his neck, and I passed out from hearing a story because it was in real life, and totally unaffected by movies. Wow. Like whenever I first watched through the Saw movies, I'd have to watch them after my wife went to bed, and I'd be like watching a Saw movie, and like people were like screaming "ah!" and I would like slowly like fall asleep while watching it, and dream about going to the beach or something, like totally unfazed by anything in a movie. But as soon as someone gets a nosebleed, tells a story about anything with blood, I'm out.
I think I've always just had a serious mental understanding that it's all fake. Like even when I was really young, like I started watching horror when I was like 4 years old, and I never really had to be told that it was fake. I never had to be like, hey, Chucky's not going to get you in your dreams. It's okay. He's just in the movie. Like I never had to have that conversation. I just knew. And so I'm not squeamish, but like if I see like real life injuries, like, you see the pictures on Facebook where you have to click the little uncover photo and it's like a bone shooting that, like, I'm like, oh, that stuff can get me, but you could do pretty much anything in a movie. And I know I'm looking at corn syrup. And so I just, pretty much within reason. There's sometimes, I mean, you start watching movies like Terrifier and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, is he going to, oh, he's doing it. And
that was awesome. To my answer is like, I guess I got desensitized as a kid because we'd rent VHS at the VHS store. I'm talking not the major store, like that little neighborhood store, and we saw crazy shit. We saw some amazing stuff that traumatized me as a kid. And I remember I had sleepless nights as a kid, but after a while, it didn't bother me anymore. And now as an adult, I see it as like, how did they do that? I hate the CGI kills. I prefer like the practical kills, like because it just has my mind. I don't see the actual act. I just see like, oh, how did they film it? How did they cut it? How did they do that? What angle? So I'm more fascinated with how they did it on camera versus the actual act. So, and plus it's a movie. I see it as just a movie. I don't see it as anything like traumatic or anything like that.
The only movie that ever really got me, and it was the first kind of movie, it was the very beginning of that whole era in the 2000s. It was the first Hostel. And me and my dad went to go see it. And we had never really watched a movie like that where it's basically just about watching people get brutalized for an hour. Whoa, what happened?
Just like that.
It's mine.
You okay? Did you pass out?
No, it's the clip on the windshield. Let's see if we can get it right.
Yeah, me and my dad. Oh, there we go. There he is. Me and my dad went to go see Hostel. And if you haven't seen the movie, essentially they go into these like brothels and stuff like that, and eventually they find themselves getting tortured. And the plot of the movie is rich people go to this place, pay money so that they can enact things on people. And so it's really graphic. And it really messed us up. Like we walked out of the movie and like drove home like this. And like before the movie, I just started getting into this band Seven Dust, which is kind of more on the heavier edge of rock metal. And I had it in the CD player, and we started driving home, and I think we made it like 1.5 miles, and it's like really angry music. And we were like, click, and just turned it off, and just drove home in silence. Like we felt like we just paid money to go watch people get murdered, and we're driving home now. And it just, that was the only time I've ever had a movie where I'm like, that was a bit too far.
You, JB?
Yeah.
No, dude. I just got into horror like. I watched Scream for the first time last year. So like,
oh wow,
I want to do a bunch of horror movie reactions. So honestly, I should just consult you guys on what I should watch.
Hostel, Human
well,
Centipede.
Well, both of those were. Hostel, for example, was one that I remember in high school, everyone always talking about, or like they'd watch it at like, one of those boy-girl parties. And I was like, nope, not for me. Same with Saw and all those movies. Like, nope, I used to just stick to comedies basically, but slowly getting into it.
Awesome. You got to do the reaction. I'm interested to see how you would react to like, Hostel 2, and like Sean said, I'll go for the third time Human Centipede.
Yep, that
the full trilogy. It doesn't. If you don't watch the full experience, the full cycle, then what's the point, really?
of the centipedes?
Yeah. And you know what, Al? The only movies nowadays that actually kind of get me where I don't want to watch them at night are movies dealing with like demons or Satan, things like that. Those are the ones I stay away from at night. I watch them like, and it won't bother me, but sometimes I don't want to see that. No, I don't need to hear those words in my house right now. I'm fine.
A prime example. I remember in college Conjuring, the first one, which the opening is just the little bit of Annabelle. It's like 4 minutes. We had to turn off it. I was like, nope, we're not doing this. This is too much. It's dark. Turn the lights on. We're not watching this. So I never watched I made it 4 minutes into the Conjuring and had to turn it off.
Yeah, it all messes with me, man. I mean, I guess on different levels.
Did we lose him?
He's done.
No. That's sad. That's
Conjuring got him.
Well, I just think that's fascinating, the way, like, the dramatically different experiences. Like, in some people, they watch horror movies because it does elicit such a response, and they kind of freak out, and they just like that jolt of emotion. I don't have any of that. Like,
I wish I did.
Yeah, when I watched Hereditary, and my buddy Andy came over, and he's very emotive. Like, you watch a horror movie with him, and he's doing this number, and my wife is in the room too, and she doesn't watch horror at all, but she looked up at all the wrong times. So the car ride home is the first time she looks up, like, oh, just a car ride home. And both of them are like hopping up and down, and it's like a comedy to me because I'm just watching them, and then we get to the finale, and like the tension is just like off the charts, and right as something's about to happen, someone touched the remote and it like cut to something else, and both of them like jump out of their seats, and we're like, what? Pause it. It was that. It was so fun, but the totally opposite reaction. And then they're like, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. And I'm like, well, I'm going right to bed, and just passed out.
Yep. That's how my mom always was. Some of the best, I wish I would have had like fly on the wall cameras or something. Some of the funniest experiences watching horror movies is watching something with my mom and my dad, because my dad's like me, not really emotive, doesn't really affect him too much. But my mom was like, what are they going to go? What's it going on? And I remember we were watching, we were in the theater, I think, and we watched the Amityville Horror remake. And all the way up to the point where they're at the house, Ryan Reynolds and his girlfriend and the kids, and the realtor's like, somebody did commit suicide, but this and that. And my mom, she goes, are they going to buy the house? And my dad said, no, they're just going to spend 20 minutes on these guys. They're going to pass on it, and then we're going to start with the real couple. The back and forth was always hilarious. Her watching The Descent. I think she literally punched my dad in the back when that like night vision thing came on. Like,
that's a great movie.
I wish I had more reaction, kind of that roller coaster ride thing. I'm so flatlined when I watch it. Like, you could literally put me in equilibrium, and I'm just like, watching the whole time.
I have to admit something. Like, I do love horror movies, but I also have this, like, I didn't know I had such a zest for bloodlust. Like when someone gets killed, like, ooh, like the last Rambo that came out, it was bad as it was. I just love the last 15 minutes of it. I'm like, yes, kill him. I just get excited. I have this bloodlust in me. I don't know why, but throw it out there.
It all affects me, and it's funny because my father's like that too. All of it does, man. Like, but some of it's on different levels. Like The Exorcist, that movie.
Yeah,
man. And that place is close to me in Georgetown. As a matter of fact, people still run up and down that steps supposedly. So that freaks me out. Things like The Ring freak me out, but not from a horror aspect. It's just psychologically. I'm like, oh, you're get out of my head. It's just, and then the other stuff freaks me out because I don't know. I just have an issue with seeing a lot of blood and gore in a horror sense, but even in a practical sense. That's why I can't watch Saving Private Ryan again, because I know that these types of things have happened to people, and it's hard on me. So.
Speaking of which, I just I don't know if anybody else has seen this. I just recently saw The Exorcist 3, and I'd never seen it before.
Oh, it's awesome.
That movie, I saw it like 2 months ago. That movie actually messed me up where I was at night thinking about the movie because who's the guy who does Chucky's voice?
Brad Dourif is awesome.
His voice, the entire movie is just so
fucking awesome. And just focuses on his face, and you're like, shut, stop talking.
That movie, psychologically, because I like psychological horrors more than anything. I think Jacob's Ladder is one of the scariest movies ever. And this movie, Exorcist 3, I loved it, man. That's the last one that actually got me a little bit, and I kind of was thinking it was in my head for the next 2 days.
Yeah, again, I haven't seen that one, but doesn't that one have like one of the best jump scares with the woman coming out of the
it's
hallway?
got a couple.
Yeah, because it just sits on that hallway for like a minute and a half.
That's one of the best ones ever, because it puts you into this false sense of security because you feel like something's going to happen, and then it goes on so long with nothing happening that you kind of settle down, and then all of a sudden, wait, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's an awesome movie. And just like the directing piece, something like Patrick Ewing's The Angel of Death. Like, what the hell's Patrick Ewing doing here? There's that one dream sequence. It's totally weird. But yeah, I love that movie. That's the last one that really got me.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Exorcist 3. That's my favorite of the Exorcist movies, actually.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, is it?
My favorite's Exorcist 2. It was the Bumblebee part was just awesome.
The locusts.
Yeah, that was just that really did it.
I like the little, defy the evil dance we got to do.
I liked the technology. It felt grounded and believable. It felt like it fit with the first film.
Kind of. You think it was kind of groundbreaking when it came out at the time, though? Like, ooh, this is like the future. I don't know. You think it was like a people?
I don't think people in the 70s were that stupid.
Rudy, I got a Marvel shirt for you, buddy. I know you're excited.
Yeah. Well, yeah, bet. Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I can see it on your face.
Wait, what did I call you in your live? MCU-ogenist or something like that? Was it? We got to get a shirt like that.
It is funny. Before you came on, Al, I said, "Hey, check out the title I have for the meeting," and he's like, and I was telling Cody, like, "Yeah, Al shows up with an MCU shirt in my DC event. What the hell, this guy?" It's all good fun. I gotta represent.
Hey,
man, whatever you love, man. I haven't seen any of the new shows. Boba Fett, I only saw the first 2-3 episodes. Is it any good? The rest of them?
I didn't finish it. I don't know. I wasn't.
Yeah.
I haven't even watched Mandalorian season 2, so you're asking the wrong guy.
Yeah, good. I canceled my Disney Plus. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to see stuff.
I'm just kind of after the Rise of Skywalker. I'm just kind of like, I don't even care.
Right?
Like you screwed it up. I'm done.
Doesn't that kind of like piss you off? I mean, I was mad for so many years, but now I'm just like, I don't care no more. Like after The Last Jedi is when I was like, I'm done. I'm so done.
Yeah, I didn't like Last Jedi at all, and I had to watch it twice to make sure. Like it was a movie where I watched it and I was confused. I was like, I'm supposed to love this. Something must have been wrong. And then I watched Rise of Skywalker, and I walked out and I'm like, I think I like that more. And then like within days, I'm like, oh no, that was bad.
Yeah.
What did they do? And
I walked out so pissed after Rise of Skywalker. My ADHD was like, what's going on now? Like, what? We're here? Like, what planet? What device? And like, how did that Goonies knife make any sense?
It's the quickest, like, 20 minutes of a movie that should have been an hour.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff on Disney Plus. Like, you could have a whole channel just talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm really loving HBO Max. I'm watching a lot of things, like a regular show with my kids. I love that cartoon, by the way, regular show. But of course, the DC stuff and Superman. I've been watching, like you said out earlier, Superman and Lois. That is a great show. That's like the only quality CW show, I think, out of all.
Arrow was great for 2 years, and then season 3 somewhere like they could almost like pinpoint the moment that it stops being good, and then after that, it just never quite recovered for me, and I stopped watching it. And then The Flash did the same thing. The Flash was great for 2 years, and then you could like pinpoint the moment in season 3, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? They tease a whole season of Flashpoint, and it's like the 2/3 of an episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Batwoman is fantastic.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Oh, my gosh. Woo, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. And I hope that doesn't happen, Cody, to Superman and Lois, because to me, on a lot of different levels, it's amazing. Like the production value for a CW show is mind blowing. I couldn't believe it was a CW show because the production value is
Really good.
absolutely, it's really good, really good. So
there's also Stargirl that I hear that's really good. I haven't watched that yet, and so I hear Swamp Thing season 1 is like one of the best too as well. I just haven't seen that either.
I never watched it because they
they
canceled it before they even like debuted it, didn't they?
Yep.
So every time I hear a show's canceled, I don't even bother with it because if I get to the end and it's on a cliffhanger, I get pissed.
They did a whole season of Swamp Thing? I thought it got canceled after the first couple of episodes.
Well, they had already shot and produced a full season.
Yeah, it was for the DC streaming service.
Yeah.
And so they did it for that, so it was completed, but then it was canceled before they people were able to see it to even get a response to it.
And JB, I saw your TikTok regarding that Archive 81 or 51.
81, yeah.
Yeah, I was really into that for the first. I was
3.
hooked. We binge watched it, the girlfriend and I. I was so disappointed with the ending. It was so anticlimactic. If you guys haven't seen it, it's really good. It's kind of got like a eerie sci-fi, paranormal, alien, ghost feel to it, dealing with tapes and things like that. So I liked it, but it was just the ending was bad.
Yeah.
I saw it too. To me, it felt a little like it felt disjointed to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had a hard time getting into it. But I think I saw it based off of I think JB. I saw your comment about it, and that made me start watching it. So.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I don't know, for some reason, those like VHS movies, like where it's those anthology stuff. I thought I was gonna be more into that realm of stuff with tapes and whatnot, but then it definitely, again, no spoilers, but it kind of leans more into demonic, supernatural stuff, and I'm like, I don't know about this. But I don't know. I think overall, like their response, I think it got a lot of views. So I don't know. Netflix, they do whatever. They'll renew stuff that no one watches and cancel things that people love. So who knows what they'll do?
3 Kissing Booth movies.
Yeah,
a trilogy of Kissing Booth movies.
Yeah, and then they made that
Netflix.
She's All That or Not She's All That, He's All That.
He's All That. Classic. Starring
It was just an hour-and-a-half commercial.
They have that one movie with the love of my life, Alma de Armas. She's going to be playing Marilyn Monroe in one movie that's rated NC-17. That's after Batman. That's my next highly anticipated film.
They've
Why
been
is
like
that?
Obvious reasons.
They've been like
NC-17. Come on, man. I'm sold.
I thought that they had to like go back and completely like redo a bunch of stuff because, like you're saying, it was like filthy.
Yeah.
First time hearing about it, but
yeah, me too.
Yeah, on your most anticipated.
Yeah, my number 2. Yeah, that's it. I don't even know. I mean, other than I'm not looking forward to The Flash. I'm actually pissed off about The Flash and what I hear is going to happen after Batman. I'm pretty sure I'm going to boycott anything they put out.
The Flash is just so weird because it's gone through so many directors, and then you have this whole thing with Ezra Miller that's like I don't know how to feel about that. And then, like you said, the rumors, which I mean, I could have probably predicted that 2-3 years ago that was kind of their built-in reset button, but that also just kind of leaves a bitter taste in your mouth where you're like, okay, so this is where we're going to give the ultimate middle finger. But then, I mean, who knows? I was looking forward to it when it was just going to be, it was like, hey, here's the Flash movie. By the way, we get 2 Batmans, and everybody's like, Flash?
Yeah.
We get what? And then that was all I was really excited about was Keaton coming back and getting one more shot with Affleck, but I don't know what to expect from that movie. And the DC fandom, you barely even got to see anything either. So it's like, I still don't know what to expect from that movie.
I think the biggest thing is just curiosity for that one. I'm not necessarily anticipating. I just want to know what the hell it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think they, again, like you said, the reset was in place because they didn't think the reaction to Zack Snyder's Justice League was going to be so, renowned. And it's pretty cool because I've seen, not just MCU fans, I've seen fans overall really enjoy the movie or at least appreciate it. Oh, that was really a whole lot better than what we got with the Justice League in 2016. But yeah, I just the misdirection. One thing I will applaud Marvel and Kevin Feige is that they have a plan and they're giving the fans what they want.
Yeah.
No, I applaud with their plans. They're giving the fans what they want. They have a plan and everything logistically. I mean, I can't even put a meeting together, but the fact that they planned 20 films cohesively and it all made sense. I love what they did. It's just, and just seeing what Warner Brothers doing, it's frustrating, man. I mean, it's pissing me off.
Yeah, I still don't get it. Like, I don't understand why they can't get things together. You know, it can't be for the lack of quality directors or performers. I don't understand it. I don't get it. So
I don't either. You have any inside sources, Sean?
Well, I mean, I have no sources, but I mean, they have David Goyer has given all sorts of statements about the writing of Man of Steel and getting studio notes like, hey, just make sure you don't blow up Superman's space pod, because otherwise, how's he going to get back to Krypton?
I heard about that.
Like David Goyer said, that's what an executive said. And when you hear that, you go, it just like lets you know exactly the insanity that is the people that have decision-making power. Mm-hmm. That, and then, the famous quotes from Zack Snyder talking about, Justice League, where they were going to put Superman in the restoration suit, the black suit. And some people was like, black suit kind of reminds me of death.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, he's dead. It's his restoration suit. That's the plot. That's the plot line. That's literally what it is. Yeah. It does remind you of death because he's dead at the beginning. And it's just like people like that have decision-making power that they don't even have a basic understanding of what they're reading, let alone what the source material, any greater context for it. And those are the people driving this. And so, I mean, it's just a disaster when that's the case. And so even when they recruit talented people, it's still an uphill battle to get something coherent. Yeah. And it's tough to have a unifying vision when that's the person giving you notes, not someone like a Kevin Feige that actually understands storytelling and the material.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, what do you all think about Joker 2? Excited
Best
about
idea
it? Don't
ever.
want to see it?
What was that, Sean?
Think so?
I was just, whatever he said, I was going to say best idea ever, no matter. So
No matter what he said.
No matter what. I was just going to go out to get ahead of everything.
It's the most interesting possibility on the table, to put it that way, especially since Phoenix is notorious for wanting nothing to do with sequels. If he actually does a Joker 2, pretty much put your money on the table that it was because there's something awesome that they have. But
and he's really the quality control. Todd Phillips did, what we did, The Hangover 2, and it's the same thing in a different city.
Even the Joker itself, it's
totally
like,
different.
It's like a Martin Scorsese.
It's literally on the other side of the earth.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
The toilets go the opposite way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Sean said, the quality control piece. It's like, I know Joaquin Phoenix, he's a risk taker. He likes to take risks, obviously. And I'm curious on what they're going to do. Personally, I didn't want it. I didn't want a sequel. I was like, leave it alone. It was a one-off story, an origin story. I don't need to know anything else. I don't need to see anything else. But, if they got on board, I mean, the people wanted it. It made $1 billion, I think, on a budget of $55 million. So that's mind-blowing. And you know what? I wish more films nowadays, now that, COVID and everything has kind of hit Hollywood and financially, I want more films with lower budgets like that because it gives them more chance of storytelling.
Yeah.
In character pieces. I want more of that. I mean, enough with the sci-fi, epic battles at the end, Joker.
Moonfall, baby.
Moonfall.
That's a good point. I want a big sci-fi battle at the end of Joker 2. That would be a risk. That would be something different and bold. And like the Joker battling a space beam in a spaceship. Like I think I need to start writing ideas I can send them to Todd. We're on a first name basis.
Well, I hope. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about it because I feel like the power of the Joker, and I said this in a short video I did about it, was really in how the origin story was told. And I feel like the different aspects of what we saw in that character would have to carry over to a great degree within 2. But if the story wrapped around it doesn't work, then I think it's going to diminish the first film. That's just my thought about it. So
yeah, I just don't know what you do because the first movie works because it's the tragedy of this vulnerable person turning into a monster. Right. Once he's the monster, how do you make a movie following around like? And then Joker killed a pregnant woman. Like, what do you do that especially in such a stark, grounded version of it. I just don't know how that works and is plays well at all.
You do the exact same thing and call it Harley.
Oh, you think that's
And then at the end, she teams up with the Joker to battle a Skybeam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I
Well,
think.
I was going to say I did get an interesting comment on my video, and one of them said that they thought that this was all a farce. Like they thought that we weren't really watching the deconstruction of Arthur Fleck into the Joker, but that the whole thing was all kind of a Joker's master plan to lead us to thinking something was happening that wasn't. I know that I feel like that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it wasn't as it seemed. That was his thought about the story that we watched. So.
Well, Al, I mean, it does make sense because I believe in the film all of the clocks are the same time, and at the end there's like the whole theory about it's not actually how it actually happened or something. Again, they could play into it, but if you're going to make a sequel, you're literally just doing another origin story then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
Or ruining the ambiguity. That's
yeah, exactly.
You get to the end and like, is he crazy? Was he just imagining that?
Yep.
What's going on here? If you hard commit so you can do a sequel, like Al said, there's a lot of potential to ruin what worked the first time.
I think they're going to kind of tie Robert Pattinson's Batman with him. I think there may be an post-credit teaser where like, hey, we found something. What do you got? He lifts up a card and it's got the Joker on it, and just to kind of tease the audience or something.
But
I'll look into it.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen this before.
The thing is, though, the Joker's what 70s, and Batman is present day. So
I think they said it was in the 90s, didn't they? Or
well,
they have
there's a
cell
cell
phones.
phone.
Okay, never mind.
And see, that's the thing. I thought it was 90s, but then when that one guy in the trailer popped up with a cell phone, I was like, oh, it's not.
It was a time where 90s is a thing that they had been saying, but
yeah. I think that's when they were trying to say that it was like early Ben Affleck, and that's how we're going to make sense of it or something. Then they just said, screw it.
Make
Multiverse.
It up, do our own thing, yeah.
We got the Flash coming out. Who cares?
Yeah.
And a movie that takes that long to get made changes a lot.
I kind of hope they don't go forward with like immediately teasing the Joker and the Batman. Like I kind of want them to focus on other people for a bit. Like we've already got two Jokers going on right now, and we had three for a while with Gotham. Any of the people they haven't done. I mean, like
Mr.
the Riddler,
Freeze.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy. I mean, you get even like Mad Hatter, Man Bat. You can get crazy with
Egghead, King Tut. There's so many classics.
Yeah, exactly. You just Professor Pig. You got
Condiment Man.
They tend to like circle the same ones.
Yeah. Who's that killer who like is it it's off the Hush novel? What's his name? Is that him? He like cuts like people's skins off and he kind of makes like an outfit.
Victor Zaz?
I think Zaz cuts into his skin every time he kills somebody, like a tally.
Yeah, there was one who actually kind of crafted. I have the graphic novel somewhere, but I think the graphic novel's Hush.
He crafted a face of Bruce Wayne.
Yes. I would love to see something like that.
I can't remember his name. I don't think that was Calendar Man. I know what you're talking about, but yeah.
Batman's probably got the best catalog of villains of all.
Batman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, those two.
Definitely.
And that's the thing is for Spider-Man, I mean, again, they're using kind of the more popular ones, but they're leaning now more into those weird ones. So I feel like with Batman, do that. You can make them set in this real world or whatever, but just make it a little weird.
For sure.
For sure. I'm excited about. I remember when the Batman teaser first came out last year. I looked like a David Fincher movie. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, this is my style. I love this, man. This is what I'm into. So,
well, I've said ever since I think it was Arkham City. I was like, I want like a serial killer Riddler. That would be awesome. And I think I answered that in a Q&A for a while. And then whenever they showed that teaser, I was like, they heard me. You watch my channel.